Welcome everyone to Coaching Session. My name is Michael Rearden, and I'll be your mindset coach today. And today we're going to be talking about how to be on purpose in our day. Because if we're just going through life and we're not necessarily doing what we're supposed to be doing, then what are we doing? We're just wasting our time. So how can we be more efficient? How can we not waste as much time? And that is, we have to learn how to be on purpose. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Let's be on purpose.
Was missing. Better late than never for you and me.
Now, being on purpose is going to be having full control of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Now, of course, your thoughts are going to be the things you think about, your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and just having the proper protocols for how you should be in that given day. So the way you think. When you wake up in the morning, what do? Do you go on your phone? Do you think about waking up or what you have to do that day? Or are you going to be the person who says, all right, it's morning time, my alarm clock rang, time to get up. That is already showing you how to be on purpose. Now we are moving forward in our day and we're not wasting or procrastinating in that time. Because if we procrastinate in the morning, we're going to procrastinate in the evening too. We have to be on purpose when we do things. Now, let's look at our feelings. If we are looking at our feelings, then we have to say, I'm going to feel a certain way because I want to feel this way. And I believe it was last week when we're talking about happiness, I can be happy whenever I want. But for some people, they go through life and they're not happy. And it's because they don't understand that they are in charge of their feelings, their emotions. And then they wonder why they don't have a good life, or they wonder why they're not happy. It's because they just allow the world to dictate their terms. So we need to become purposeful in how we feel. And then we look at our actions. And it's similar to our thoughts, our conscious actions, right? Our actions are going to determine if we are doing the right things. So do you wake up in the morning and go to the gym like you're supposed to? Or do you just say, yeah, it's pretty cold outside or it's raining, I don't want to go to the gym? Okay, I understand that. As an adult, we all have responsibilities and your plate might be full. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be doing things because you're a busy person. Heck, I'm extremely busy, but I have a regimen that I have to follow. There's no ifs, ands, or buts when I do things, because if I have to go to the gym 5 days out of the week, I'm in that gym 5 days out of the week. And if I can't make it for some odd reason, I'm on the floor doing push-ups and sit-ups. It's not because I'm afraid to lose my body. It's because I understand my mind needs to be focused. My actions need to be on point. So I believe this was last week when I had went out to do some errands and I had went to my credit union and it was closed. And I thought that was strange. Why is this credit union closed? So I go on Google, figure out which is the next closest credit union. The next closest one is also closed. So I said, okay, not a problem. And so I go to the one that is open. And this was about 10 miles away. So drive there. And I get there. There is a gentleman at the door saying I can't come in. And I say, why? He's like, you have to have a mask on. Okay, well, why do I have to have a mask on? I asked him, when there's a lady right there inside not wearing a mask. He just looked at me like, oh, well, she must have snuck by. That's not possible. He's right at the door. How could she sneak by? Now, of course, maybe he just got on shift. Probably not. But let's talk about the color. She was a white lady. I was a black man. Now, I'm not going to say he's being racist or prejudiced, and I didn't want to make a big deal. I was trying to go in, do what I had to do, and get out. Now, I just watched episode 7 of Motivation and Emotion. If you haven't watched that one, it's a good one because I was up and about it. I was in fighting mode, basically. When I made that aware to him, he was just like, I don't know. So I go in, I do what I had to do, I leave, take off my mask as I'm leaving because it's disgusted in the city of Austin. And as I was walking, he opened the door for me, said, have a nice day. I understand. You are doing your job. You don't want to get fired. You need a paycheck. I understand. Okay. Let's look at Canada, for example. Austria, New York, right? Many places we can look at. officers doing their job, but not liking what they're doing. I'm sorry, I have to do this. If I don't do this, guess what happens? I'm going to lose my job. And I've been there. I have been in a situation where the officers knew what was wrong, but they went ahead and did the arrest because the lieutenant was in charge. And now we have a government that's in charge, right? And they're basically saying, well, we have to do this. These are the mandates. And then every other company has to follow. Otherwise, they're going to be hit with a fine. Just in the last episode with Marjorie Taylor Greene with Alex Jones talking about how she's hit with a fine every single time she doesn't have a mask on. Now, of course, there's videos of other politicians not wearing the masks. I showed you some of the videos. You can go on Google and you can find it. But yet, it's about the hypocrisy. Do as I say, not as I do. And what do you think that happens when people that are in power, that are doing things, are not taking action? They say, okay, well, we'll figure it out. Look at gas prices going through the roof. Now, they can take the action to start drilling here in America. We have plenty of oil. Under President Trump, he was drilling for oil here. He was creating pipelines. And the moment the Biden administration got in, they canceled the pipeline job, which ended so many jobs for so many people who were relying on that money. And then, of course, inflation goes up. And then now that inflation is up, oh, yeah, also we're going to raise gas prices too. So now we have the working class American. They are struggling because now they have to pay more to fill up their gas tank and go to the grocery store, be able to provide for the family, and to keep the roof over their head. There's so much more that has happened in this past year than the whole pandemic. And I can understand that we can say that there's been a lot of deaths in COVID, and we can be sad about it. But if we look at under President Trump and President Biden, in that time span, more people have passed away from COVID under President Biden. But if you go to Google and you type in how many people passed away under President Biden, well, the number is unknown. The cover up. So besides all this cover up BS, how can we not cover up our life? Because if we just cover up the wounds that we have been inflicted throughout childhood, throughout our teenage years, throughout adulthood, and we just cover it up with a Band-Aid, that doesn't fix the problem. There are so many people who need coaching, so many people who need to see therapists, who need to seek therapy because their mind is not in the place it should be. They're thinking in a negative fashion, a negative manner, and they're not driving themselves toward the best person they can be because many of them don't even realize that they want more in their life. They literally take what they get and they don't ask any questions. So how can we start asking the questions though? How can we start to become purposeful in our day? We need to stop being on accident. We need to stop being victims. We need to stop allowing other people to control our actions, our thoughts, our feelings. And the way we do that is going to be from getting help, from figuring out where your mind is. Because if your mind is not in a good, strong place right now, you are going to be doing yourself a detriment by not seeking help. And then, God forbid, if you are a parent who's not in a good mental state and you have children looking at you, learning from you, and then now your children are going to mimic what you are doing. Mom and dad are working 9 to 5. They're working 2 jobs. I guess that's going to be my life too. I have to work 2 jobs and barely make it. Now, you can be ambitious in life, work 2 jobs, 3 jobs. You can do what you have to do, but you don't have to be weak. In college, I worked a full-time and a part-time job, and I was doing 18 credits, and I paid for my own college. I didn't have mom or dad come in and say, okay, son, we're going to pay for your college. They didn't have the money. We grew up poor. But that's not to say that I'm a victim. That's not to say that I'm a victim when I'm being told to put on a mask when there's a white lady 6 feet in front of me not wearing a mask. I can be angry. I can be upset, but I choose not to be because I am the person who's going to change my life. You are the person who's going to change your life. Now, of course, you can have people help you change your life, a coach, a therapist. But if you're just going to sit down and not take action, you can't blame the world for the outcome. You might be in a position where you might not be able to afford coaching. And though my coaching is affordable, you might still not be in that position, especially if the inflation keeps rising, you lose your job. What do? So we need to figure that out too. And if you're new to the channel, you can always head over to revenconcepts.com and you can see the free resources that I have available. whether it be the podcast, the blogs, motivational videos on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere. You can get that motivation you need. And if you go down to the archive tab for the blog, since 2019 of great content that can help you. So let's just go to December 2019 before the pandemic. Lights, Camera, Action, the first blog that comes on. We need action. We need to be on purpose. It's showtime, people. And it's showing you that we have to take action. There's so many blogs. Next one, the same month, December, On Task. Be on task. Be on purpose. Your journey. On and on and on. There's so many blog posts. There's so many articles. There's so much information to help you. So even though we have all this information, we have all of these resources, people still do not take action. Why is that? People go through life wishing and hoping that someone's going to save them. That maybe they'll get lucky, win the lotto, win a large amount of money, get lucky in an invention, get lucky and get a good job and be able to reach high levels of success and promotion in that career. Though that is a good thing, we have to understand something, that the action that we put in each and every day is going to determine our future. And right now, many people are on waiting. Since 2019, people have been waiting. 2020, people say, oh, I can't go anywhere, lockdown, quarantine. So they don't take action. I'm sure you heard about the quarantine 15. You gained 15 pounds during the quarantine because you're not taking any action. Many companies went from in office to remote. Now you take even less action. I can just stay at home, put on a nice shirt and keep my pajama bottoms on and call it a day in the office. And you don't have to go to the gym because you're already in the comfort of your home. And it's dangerous outside. So you stay inside. You don't take action. And then they say, okay, well, in order for you to go out, you need to do this, especially in certain states. New York, for example, you have to have proof of having a shot in order to go in some restaurants. Now, that is absurd. And then this whole thing about, oh, I have to wear a mask when I walk to my table. But when I walk to my table, magically my table is a social distance bubble where I can take off my mask and I'm automatically safe. That's like saying you can use your finger, and if any bad guy comes your way, you can go pew pew and they're done. They're not. Fantasy world. It doesn't make sense. And people are just living in this fantasy that things are going to be okay when they don't take action. What actions do we need to take to reach higher levels of success in our life? That is the key. That is what we need to start looking at. Now, of course, I can give some general actions you can take, but the actions that you should be taking are going to be unique to you. And that's why coaching is going to be powerful for you. That's why getting help or seeking a therapist is going to be beneficial for you. The people who just walk around aimlessly and they don't get anything out of their life and they complain and they wonder why they're victims, it's sad. It's sad that they're wasting their life away. It's sad that they're in wait, wishing and hoping for a better tomorrow when tomorrow is now. Your future is now. That means you have to go out and get the life that you want. And you can't just allow your circumstances to define you. Yeah, maybe you gained those 15 pounds over the quarantine. And maybe you gained 10 more after that. So now you're 25 pounds more than what you were in 2019. Let's go to the gym, right? That could be your action. Let's get a workout plan in. Let's figure out your nutrition. There's so many things that have to happen before we can say, okay, I know what I'm going to do. And then we do that. But the world is a scary place right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of infighting. There's a lot of separation and segregation, whether that be by culture, religion. It doesn't necessarily matter how they're doing the separation or how we're divided. Us people, we have a common goal. We have a common desire. And that's to be happy, right? Most people want to be happy. And if you don't want to be happy, then you have to figure out, why are you so depressed? What is the problem? What is keeping you from being happy or seeking happiness or seeking more in your life? And we just have to figure out, how can we become more on purpose? And the best way I have found to give you a little bit of information before the podcast ends is to schedule your day. And if you can schedule your day out, then you can be more inclined to get the things you wanted done. Now, if you're a procrastinator, there's tricks that you can use, whether it be the 5-second rule, whether it be rules regulating how often you could be on your smartphone, and or you are figuring out how you can make a difference. Maybe you're the type of person who needs to have a to-do list. I'm always creating a to-do list so I can understand, all right, this is what needs to be done this week or done today. And then I get it done. And then when I'm ahead of the curve, now I'm able to live exactly how I want. And then always understanding that you are the person to be in charge of your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. Because if you can control that, then you can control your whole entire life. Now, of course, there's going to be circumstances that you cannot control. But just because something happens to you doesn't mean that you can't control how you feel about what had just happened. Because that's the starting point. And that's the end point. You are in control of you. You are in control of your life. You are in control of the outcome of your life. And the people around you, you are also in control of that. If someone is being negative, if someone's spouting limiting beliefs on you, if someone's being pessimistic and they're not nurturing and caring, that relationship might not be for you. And if we turn on the news, we can figure out which news medias want us to succeed and which ones want us to live in fear. Because fear is going to stop many people from achieving their dreams. So we need to get out of that fear. We need to start to be on purpose. We have to be brave. We have to be confident. And the best way you can do that, again, find someone who can help you get out of that way of thinking. Whether it be a mentor, a coach, a therapist. Get out of that negative mind and get into a more purposeful life. Because there's no reason why you have to be in an accident every single day. You should be able to determine what you want to do in life and then go for it. And if you don't know how to go for it, find someone who can help you go for it a step at a time. Because in life, that's what we're doing. We're taking a step toward our future every single day. We're taking a step to our best self every single day. We should be taking a step toward our best self every single day. There's many things that we should be doing that we're not doing. So we need to figure out what those things are and then get to work. Because it's time to handle our business, not sit and be idle. My name is Michael Rearden. I'm a mindset coach. If you're just tuning in, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see everyone on the next episode of Coaching a Session. Until then, everyone, take care.